Imagine vanishing. I don't mean moving to a new city or ghosting your friends. I mean an entire civilization just stopping. One day, you're building massive, multi-story castles inside the side of a mountain. You're trading with people from the ocean. You're inventing new styles of art. And then, by the year 1450, you're gone. We are about 2 hours east of Phoenix, Arizona, in one of the most rugged and beautiful landscapes in the American Southwest. This isn't Sedona. It isn't the Grand Canyon. This is Tonto National Monument. And up there, that isn't a cave. That is a 700-year-old apartment complex that has survived earthquakes, droughts, and time itself. Today, we're going to hike up into the Superstition Mountains to explore the lives of the Salado people. We're going to find out why they built their homes 1,000 feet up a vertical wall, how they survived in a desert that hits 110 degrees, and the weird truth about why this place is named Tonto, which, by the way, is Spanish for fool. Grab your water, watch out for rattlesnakes. Let's go climb a mountain. Getting here is half the adventure. To reach Tonto National Monument, you have to drive through the heart of the Sonoran Desert. Now, fun fact for you biology nerds out there, the Sonoran Desert is the only place in the world where the saguaro cactus grows naturally. See those big armed cacti? They can live to be 200 years old. That means some of the older ones standing here today might have been saplings when the Spanish explorers first rode through this valley. But the people we're talking about today, the Salado, they were long gone before the first cowboy ever saw a cactus. We are in the Tonto Basin. Geologically, this place is a mess, in a good way. You've got volcanic basalt, limestone, and the rock these dwellings are built into, dripping spring quartzite. It sounds like a fancy coffee order, but it's actually a rock that fractures in perfect flat slabs. Look at this, it's naturally flat. If you were an ancient engineer, this is the jackpot. You don't need to cut the stone, you just stack it. This geology is exactly why the Salado people could build skyscrapers in a cave. So, who were the Salado? This is where it gets interesting. Salado isn't what they called themselves. We actually have no idea what they called themselves. Salado is just Spanish for salty, named after the Salt River that flows through this valley. Here's the leading theory among archaeologists. The Salado weren't one tribe, they were a melting pot. Around 1150 AD, things in the southwest got rough. There were droughts in the north, ancestral Puebloans, and social shifts in the south, Hohokam. People started migrating. They all ended up here in the Tonto Basin. You had different cultures moving in together, mixing their traditions, their farming techniques, and their art. The result? The Salado phenomenon. See this pottery? It's called Gila polychrome. It's some of the most widely traded pottery in ancient North America. They found this stuff as far away as Texas and the Pacific coast. Think about that. No horses, no wheels, just people walking hundreds of miles carrying fragile clay pots on their backs to trade for seashells. That is a level of hustle I honestly cannot comprehend. And they were rich, or at least comfortable. They grew cotton in the valley floor, where Roosevelt Lake is today, and wove it into intricate shirts and blankets. They were the fashion designers of the 1300s Southwest. Okay, we are hiking up to the lower cliff dwelling. It's about a half-mile hike, but it is steep. It gains about 350 feet in elevation. Now, why live up here? The river and the farms are down there in the valley. Why climb 30 minutes every day just to get home? There are two theories. Theory 1, defense. If you live in a cave halfway up a cliff, nobody can sneak up on you. You can see enemies coming from miles away. Theory 2, climate control. These caves face east. That is ancient solar engineering. In the morning, the sun hits the cave and warms it up. In the afternoon, when the Arizona sun is scorching hot, the cave is in the shade. It stays a comfortable temperature year-round. They didn't have AC, but they had geometry. We made it. Just look at this. This is the lower ruin. It has about 16 rooms preserved here, but it used to be 2 stories tall. You can still see the original wooden beams sticking out of the walls. Those are saguaro ribs and juniper logs. Archaeologists use tree ring dating on those logs to tell us exactly when these rooms were built, mostly around 1300 to 1350 AD. See that door? It's T-shaped. You see this a lot in ancient Southwest architecture. Some say it's to balance a load on your back, others say it's ceremonial, but looking at it, I just think it looks cool. Now, if you look way up there, that is the upper cliff dwelling. It's much bigger, about 40 rooms. But you can't just walk up there. You have to book a guided tour with a park ranger, and they only run them from November to April. If you can get on that tour, do it. The upper ruin is massive. It housed maybe 60 to 80 people. It has a cistern for catching water, meaning they didn't always have to hike down to the river. They caught rain seeping through the rocks. Life here wasn't easy. The average lifespan was only about 35 to 40 years. Infant mortality was high. We know this because of the burials found nearby. But despite the hardness of life, they found time for beauty. They decorated their walls. They wore jewelry made of shell and turquoise. They were human, just like us, trying to make a nice home for their families. So why is it called Tonto? In the 1700s, Spanish explorers met the local Apache people living here, long after the Salado left. The Apache and the Spanish couldn't communicate well. The Spanish, in a moment of arrogance, called the Apache Tontos, fools. The name stuck to the basin, the forest, and eventually this national monument. It's a bit of an awkward name for such a genius feat of engineering, right? Around 1450, the Salado left. We don't know exactly why. Maybe the climate changed. Maybe there was conflict. They didn't vanish into empty air. They moved on. Their descendants are likely the Zuni, Hopi, and Pima people living in Arizona today. Tonto National Monument is a reminder that people have been thriving in this harsh desert for a long time. It's a place of mystery, resilience, and honestly, one of the best views in the state. Thanks for hiking with me. If you enjoyed this trek into history, hit that like button. It helps the channel more than you know. And subscribe so you don't miss our next adventure into the unknown.